Fuck you, gargoyle. You fucking loose cannon. Him a cannon. And fear him down there.
We run things so run. Nothing back up. What you want? That ear strike? Nobody is going to cry by strike today. You understand me? Come on.
Hail. Hail, 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 motherfucking hail. This is Gargoyle, the fucking Gargoyle stream. Right here, after hours. Because, I got off of it is fucking Monday. We got hella big shit going on. Hella small shit. Hella all kinds of shit. Shitty shit. Deaf Asian can't sing, smoke in the water. Check it out from Wise Geese. Wise guys. So my work's in progress. Let me just show you guys. And most of y'all don't care anyways, but this was like the introduction of Mia scene. Let's see. She'll walk in. It's this illegal lowrider type car show. They're like, damn, check that girl out. Wow, she fine. And she's walking to this one area. Nice group right here, smoke crack, and like, damn, she's talking to us. Is that the package girl? And then they're talking. She's like, you got a big package for me? Got a huge package for me? I got piles and piles of cash for that package. And then this suspicious round right here, this is where the Templar is assembling a 50 caliber. He's taking a look at where he's at, and this is like the top of the top of the roof of the tallest building in San Diego. So yeah, it's going to be huge. Oops. Don't want you to see my penis. Yeah, she's like, you got a package for me? You got a huge package? Huge. Hang on, packing a bowl right now. Back in a bowl. I don't need a packable. Well, the store I got this pen from.
He would show that he, Bastian, was a great storyteller. He resolved to prove himself to his friend at the first opportunity, maybe the very next day. For instance, there might be a storytelling contest, and he would put all the others in the shade with his inventions. Or better still, suppose all the stories he told should come true. Hadn't Grogram said that Fantastica was the land of stories, and that even something long past could be born again if it occurred in a story? Atreyu would be amazed. But while picturing Atreyu's amazement, Bastian fell asleep. The next morning, as they were enjoying a copious breakfast in the banquet hall of the palace, Silver Sage Quirquebad said, "We have decided to hold a very special sort of festival for the benefit of our guest, the savior of Fantastica, and his friend who brought him to us. Perhaps Bastian Balthazar books, it is unknown to you that in keeping with an age-old tradition, we Amarganthians have always been the ballad singers and storytellers of Fantastica. From an early age, our children are instructed in school. When they grow to adulthood, they journey for several years, practicing their art for the benefit of all.
So,
Everywhere,
oh, you're staring at me. Sorry.
and respect. But we have one regret. Quite frankly, our stock of stories is small. And many
I'll
of
keep
us
it on this
cannot
screen.
share this little. But word
This is
gets
the
around,
tablet
whether
screen,
true or
so
not, I don't
you're going to
know.
get the zoom in action. So,
In your world are famous for your story. Is that the truth? Yes, said Bastian. They even made fun of you for it. Silver Sage Quirquebad raised his eyebrows and whispered, "Made fun of you for telling stories that no one had ever heard? How is that possible? None of us can make up new stories. And we, my fellow citizens and I, would all be infinitely grateful if you would give us a few. Will you help us with your genius?" "With pleasure," said Bastian. After breakfast, Bastian, Atreyu, and the Silver Sage went out to the steps of Quirquebad's palace, where Falcor was already waiting for them. A large crowd had gathered, but on this occasion it included few of the outsiders who had come for the tournament, and consisted largely of Amarganthians, men, women, and children, all comely and blue-eyed, and all clad in silver. Most were carrying stringed instruments, harps, lyres, guitars, and lutes, all of silver. For almost everyone there hoped to display his art in the presence of Bastian and Atreyu. Again, chairs had been put in place. Bastian sat in the middle, between Quirquebad and Atreyu, and Falcor stood behind them. Quirquebad clapped his hands. When the crowd fell silent, he announced, "The great storyteller is going to grant our wish and make us a present of some new stories. Therefore, friends, give us your best to put him in the right mood." The Amagantians all bowed low. Then the first stepped forward and began to recite. After him came another, and still others. All had fine, resonant voices and told their stories well. Some of their tales were exciting, others merry or sad, but it would take us too long to tell them here. In all, there were no more than 100 different stories.
Do,
They began to
do,
repeat
do,
themselves.
do, do,
Those who came
do,
last
do, do.
could only tell what their predecessors had told before them. Bastian grew more and more agitated while waiting for his turn. His last night's wish had been fulfilled to the
sisters.
letter, and he could hardly bear the excitement of waiting to see whether everything else would come true as well. He kept casting glances at Atreus, but Atreus' face was impassive, showing no sign of what he might be thinking. At length, Berkelbad bade his compatriots desist and turned to Bastian with a sigh. I told you, Bastian Balthazar Book, that our stock of tales was small. It's not our fault. Won't you give us a few of yours? I will give you all the stories I've ever told, said Bastian.
One of the
I can
biggest.
always think up new ones. I told many of them to a little girl named Krista, but most I thought up only for myself. No one else has heard them. But it would take weeks and months to tell them all, and we can't stay with you that long. So I've decided to tell you a story that contains all the others in it. It's called The Story of the Library of Amagan, and it's very short. Then, after a moment's thought, he plunged in. In the grey dawn of time, the city of Amagan was ruled by a silver sagess named Quana. In those long past days, Moria, the Lake of Tears, hadn't been made yet, nor was Amagan built with the special silver that withstands the water of Moru. It was still like other cities, with houses of stone and wood. It lay in a valley among wooded hills. Quana had a son named Quinn, who was a great hunter. One day in the forest, Quinn caught sight of a unicorn, which had a glittering stone at the end of its horn. He killed the beast and took the stone home with him. His crime, for it is a crime to kill unicorns, brought misfortune on the city. From then on, fewer and fewer children were born to the inhabitants. If no remedy were found, the city would die out. But the unicorn couldn't be brought back to life, and no one knew what to do. Quana, the silver sagess, sent a messenger to consult Ululana.
Oh, my dad.
The southern oracle was far away. The messenger was young when he started out, but old by the time he got back. Quana had long been dead, and her son Quinn had taken her place. He too, of course, was very old, as were all the other inhabitants. There were only 2 children left, a boy and a girl. His name was Achilles, hers was Mukha. The messenger reported what Ululana's voice had revealed. The only way of preserving Amagan is to make it the most beautiful city in all Fantastica. That alone would make amends for Quinn's crime. And to do so, the Amagantians would need the help of the Akari, who were the ugliest beings in Fantastica. Because they are so ugly, they do uninterruptedly. And for that reason, they are also known as the Weepers. Their streams of tears wash the special silver deep down in the earth. From it, they make the most wonderful filigree. All the Amagantians went looking for the Akaris, who were unable to find them. They lived deep down in the earth. At length, only Akil and Mukha were left. They had grown up, and all the others had died. Together, they managed to find the Akaris and persuade them to make Amagan the most beautiful city in Fantastica. First, the Akaris built a small filigree palace, set it on a silver guard, and moved it to the marketplace of the dead city. Then they made their streams of underground tears well up in the valley among the wooded hills. The bitter water filled the valley and became Moru, the Lake of Tears. silver palace, and in the palace dwelt Akil and Luka. But the Akaris had granted the fee of Akil and Luka on one condition, namely that they and all their descendants should devote their lives to ballad singing and storytelling. As long as they did so, the Akaris would help them, because then their ugliness would help to create beauty. So Akil and Luka founded a library, the famous Library of Amagen, in which they stored up all my stories. They began with the one you have just heard, but little by little they added all those I have ever told. And in the end, there were so many stories that their numerous descendants, who now inhabit the Silver City, will never come to the end of them. If Amagan, the most beautiful city in Fantastica, is still in existence today, it is because the Akaris and the Amarganthians kept their promise to each other. Though today, the Amarganthians have quite forgotten the Akaris, and the Akaris have quite forgotten the Amarganthians. Only the name of Mogu, the Lake of Tears, recalls that episode, the grey dawn of history. When Bastian had finished, Silver Sage Quirquabad rose slowly from his chair. Bastian Balthazar Books, he said, smiling blissfully. You have given us more than a story, and more than all the stories in the world. You have given us our own history. Now we know where Mogu and the silver ship and palaces on it came from. Now we know why we have always, from the earliest times, been a people of ballad singers and storytellers. And best of all, we know what is in that great round building in the middle of the city, which none of us, since the founding of Amagan, has ever entered, because it has always been locked.
I love this drawing.
Greatest treasure, and we never knew it. It contains the library of Amagan. Bastian himself could hardly believe it. Everything in his story had become reality. Or had it always been? Rogomar would probably have said both. In any event, he was eager to see all this with his own eyes. Where is this building? He asked. I will show you. Rogomar. And turning to the crowd, he cried, Come along, all of you. Perhaps we shall be favored with more wonders. A long procession, headed by the Silver Sage, Bastian, and a trail, moved over the gangplanks connecting the silver ships with one another, and finally stopped outside a large building, which rested on a circular ship and was shaped like a huge silver box. The outside walls were smooth, without ornaments or windows. It had only one large door, and that door was locked. In the center of the smooth silver door, there was a stone set in a kind of ring. It looked like a piece of common glass. Over it, the following inscription could be read. Removed from the unicorn's horn, I lost my life. I shall keep the door locked until my light is rekindled by him who calls me by name. For him I will shine 100 years. I will guide him in the dark depths of Lawsman Room. But if he says my name a second time from the end to the beginning, I will glow in one moment with the light of 100 years. None of us can interpret this inscription, said Quirquabad. None of us knows what the words Lawsman Room mean. None of us to this day has ever discovered the stone's name, though we have all tried time and again. For we can only use names that already exist in them. Since these are all names of other things, none of us has made the stone glow or opened the door. And you find the name? That's in Balthazar Book. Expectant silence fell on Amarganthians and non-Amarganthians alike. Altair here, Bastian. In that moment, the stone slowly and jumped straight from its setting into Bastian's hand. The door opened. A gasp of amazement arose from 1,000 throats. Holding the glowing stone in his hand, Bastian entered the building, followed by Purpleman and Atreyu. The crowd surged in behind them. It was dark in a large circular room, and Bastian held the stone high. Though brighter than a candle, it was not enough to light the whole room. It showed only that the walls were lined with tier upon tier of books. Attendants appeared to glance. In the bright light, it could be seen that the walls of books were divided into sections, bearing signs such as funny stories, serious stories, exciting stories, and so on. In the center of the circular room, the floor was inlaid with an inscription so large that no one could fail to see it. Library of the collected works of Bastian Balthazar Books. Atreyu looked around in amazement. Bastian saw to his delight that his friend was overcome with admiration. Is it true? Asked Atreyu, pointing at the silver shelves all around. That you made up all these stories? Yes, said Bastian, slipping out Zahir into his pocket. Atreyu could only stand and gape. I just can't understand it, he said. The Amargantians had flung themselves on the books and were leafing through them or reading to one another. Some sat down on the floor and began to learn passages by heart. News of the great event spread through the whole city like wildfire. As Bastian and Atreyu were leaving the library, they ran into Hukrian, Husbald, and Hudon. Sebastian, said the red-haired Husbald, evidently the deftest of the three, not only with the sword, but with his tongue as well. We have heard about your incomparable gifts, and humbly pray you, take us into your service, and let us accompany you on your further travels. Each one of us longs to acquire a story of his own, and though you surely have no need of our protection, you may derive some advantage from the service of 3 such able and willing knights. Will you have us? Gladly, said Bastian. Anyone would be proud of such companions. The 3 knights wished to stand guilty by Bastian's sword, but he held them back. Sikander, he explained, is a magic sword. No one can touch it without mortal peril, unless he is eaten, drunk, and bathed in the fire of the many-colored death. So they have to content themselves with a friendly handshake. What has become of Hero Hunric? Bastian asked. He's a broken man, said Hukrian. Because of his lady, Hudon added. Perhaps you can do something to help him. All 5 of them went to the inn where they had stopped on their arrival in Amadan, and where Bastian had brought each to the stable. When they entered, one man was sitting there, bent over the table, his hands buried in his fair hair. The man was Henrik. Evidently, he had had a change of armor in his luggage, for the outfit he was now wearing was rather simpler than the one that had been cut to pieces the day before. In response to Bastian's greeting, he merely stared. His eyes were rimmed with red. When Bastian asked leave to see
I want a devil worshiper.
he shrugged his shoulders, nodded, and sank back in his chair. Before him on the table was a sheet of paper, which looked as if it had been many times crumpled and smoothed out again. Can you forgive me? Said Bastian. Hero Hunric put his head. It's all over for me, said Morton. Here, read it. He pushed the note across the table, and Bastian read it. I want only the best. You have failed me. Farewell. From Princess Oglomar? Bastian asked. Hero Hunric nodded. Immediately after our contest, she mounted her palfrey and rode off to the ferry. God knows where she is now. I'll never see her again. Can't you overtake her? What for? Begged maybe she'll change her mind. Hero Henrik made a bitter laugh. You don't know, Princess Oglamar, he said. I trained more than 10 years to acquire my different skills. With iron discipline, I avoided everything that could have impaired my physique. I fenced with the greatest fencing masters and wrestled with the greatest wrestlers until I could beat them all. I can run faster than a horse, jump higher than a deer. I am best at everything, or rather I was, until yesterday. At the start, she wouldn't honor me with a glance, but little by little, my accomplishments aroused her interest. I had every reason to hope, and now I see it was all in vain. How can I live without hope? Maybe, Bastian suggested, you should forget Princess Oglamar. There must be others who could love just as much. No, said Hero Henrik. I love Princess Oglamar just because she won't be satisfied with anything but the greatest. I see, said Bastian. That makes it difficult. What could you do? Maybe you could take up a different trade. How about singing or poetry? Henrik seemed rather annoyed. No, said Patrick. I'm a hero, and that's that. I can't change my profession, and I don't want to. I am what I am. I see, said Bastian. All were silent for a time. The three knights cast sympathetic glances at Hero Henrik. They understood his plight. Finally, Oswald cleared his throat and turned to Bastian. Sebastian, he said, I think you could help me. Bastian looked at Atreyu, but Atreyu had put on his impenetrable face. A hero like Henrik, the Hodor, is really to be pitied in a world without monsters. See what I mean? No, Bastian didn't see. Not yet, at any rate. Monsters, said Huklion, winking at Bastian and stroking his huge moustache. Monsters are indispensable if a hero is to be a hero. At last, Bastian understood. Listen to me, Hero Henrik, he said. When I suggested giving your heart suggested giving your heart to another lady, I was only putting your love to the test. The truth is that Princess Oglamar needs your help right now, and that no one else can save her. Hero Hunrek pricked up his ears. Is that true, Sebastian? It's true, as you will soon see. Only a few minutes ago, Princess Oglamar was seized and kidnapped. By whom? By one of the most terrible monsters that have ever existed in Fantastica, the dragon Snare. She was riding across a clearing in the woods when the monster saw her from the air, swooped down, lifted her off her palfrey's back, and carried her away. Hunrek jumped up. His eyes flashed. His cheeks were aglow. He clapped his hands for joy. But then the light went out of his eyes, and he sat down. That's not possible, he said. There are no more dragons anywhere. You forget, Hero Hunrek, that I come from far away, from much farther than you have ever been. That's true, said Atreyu, joining in for the first time. And this monster really carried her away? Hero Hunrek cried. And he pressed both hands to his heart and sighed. Oh, my adored Oglamar, how you must be suffering. But never fear, your knight is coming. He is on his way. Tell me, what must I do? Where must I go? Far from here, Bastian began, there's a country called Morgul, or the land of the cold fire, because flames there are colder than ice. How you are to reach that country I can't tell you. You must find out for yourself. In the center of Morgul there is a petrified forest called Wadgarbe, and in the center of that petrified forest stands the leaden castle of Ragar. It is surrounded by 3 moats. The first is full of arsenic, the second of steaming nitric acid, and the third is swarming with scorpions as big as your feet. There are no bridges across them, for the lord of the leaden castle is Smerg, the winged monster. His wings are made of slimy skin, and their spread is 100 feet. When he isn't flying, he stands on his hind legs like a gigantic kangaroo. He has the body of a mangy rat and the tail of a scorpion with a sting at the end of it. The nearest touch of that thing is fatal. He has the hind legs of a giant grasshopper. His forelegs, however, which look small and shriveled, resemble the hands of a small child. But don't let them fool you. There's a deadly power in those hands. He can pull in his long neck as a snail does its penis. There are 3 heads on it. One is large and looks like the head of a crocodile. From its mouth it can spit icy fire. Where
Let's
a
do-
crocodile has its eyes, it has 2 protuberances. These are extra heads. One resembles the head of an old man. It can see and hear. He talks with the second head, which has the wrinkled face of an old woman. While listening to this description, Hero Hunrek went pale. What was this monster's name? He asked. Smerg, Bastian repeated. He has been wreaking his mischief for 1,000 years, because that's how old he is. It's always a beautiful maiden that he kidnaps, and she has to keep house for him until the end of her days. When she dies, he kidnaps another. Why haven't I ever heard of this dragon? Smerg flies incredibly far and fast. Up to now, he has always chosen other parts of Fantastica for his raids. Besides, they only happen once in every 50 years or so. Hasn't any of these maidens ever been rescued? No, that would take a very special sort of hero. These words brought the color back to Hero Hunrek. And remembering what he had learned about dragons, he asked, has this Smerg a vulnerable spot? Oh, said Bastian, I almost forgot. In the bottommost cellar of Ragar Castle, there's a lead axe. It's the only weapon Smerg can be killed with, so naturally he guards it well. You have to cut off the 2 smaller heads with it. How do you know all this? Asked Hero Hunrek. Bastian didn't have to answer, for at that moment, cries of terror were heard in the street. A dragon! A monster! Up there in the sky! Horrible! He's coming this way! Run for your lives! No! He's already got somebody! Hero Hunric rushed out into the street, and all the others followed. Up in the sky, something that looked like a giant bat was flapping its enormous wings. For a moment, as it came closer, he looked exactly as Bastian had just made him up. And in his two shriveled but oh so dangerous little arms, he was clutching a young lady who was screaming and struggling with all her might. Hunric! He screamed. Hunric! Hunric, my hero! Help! And then they were gone. Hunric had already brought his black stallion from the stable and boarded one of the silver ferries that crossed to the mainland. Faster! Faster! He could be heard shouting at the ferryman. I'll give you anything you ask, but hurry! Bastian looked after him and
Fucking Valerie.
I hope I haven't made it too hard. Atreyu cast a sidelong glance at Bastian. Then he said softly, maybe we should get going too. Going where? I brought you to Fantastica, said Atreyu. I think I ought to help you to find a way back to your own world. You need to go back sooner or
And you hide behind a pit.
Oh, said Bastian. I haven't thought about it. But you're right, Atreyu. Yes, of course you are. You saved Fantastica, Atreyu went on. And it seems to me you've received quite a lot in return. I have a hunch you're able to go home and make your own world well again. Or is there something that keeps you here? Bastian, who had forgotten that he hadn't always been strong, handsome, and brave, replied, no, I can't think of anything. Atreyu gave his friend a thoughtful look and said, it may be a long, hard journey. Who knows? Yes, Bastian agreed. Who knows? We can start right now if you like. Then the three knights had a short, friendly argument, because each claimed the privilege of giving Bastian his horse. Bastian soon settled the matter by asking them for Yika and acting on it. Of course, they thought her unworthy of Bastian, but he insisted, and in the end, they gave in. While the knights were making ready for the journey, Bastian and Atreyu went to Quirkelbad's palace to thank the Silver Sage for his hospitality and bid him goodbye. Falcor, the luck dragon, who was waiting for Atreyu outside the palace, was delighted to hear they were leaving. Cities just didn't appeal to him, even if they were as beautiful as Amargam. Silver Sage Quirkelbad was deep in a book he had borrowed from the Bastian Balthazar Book's library. I'm sorry you can't stay longer, he said rather absently. It's not every day that a great author like you comes to see us, but at least we have your works to console us. Whereupon they took their leave. After seating himself on Falcor's back, Atreyu asked Bastian, didn't you want to ride, Falcor? Later, said Bastian. Now Yika is waiting for me, and I've given her my promise. Then we'll wait for you on the mainland, cried Atreyu. The luck dragon rose into the air and was soon out of sight. When Bastian returned to the inn, the three knights were ready. He had taken the pack saddle off Yika and replaced it with a richly ornamented riding saddle. Yika didn't learn why until Bastian came over and whispered in her ear, "Learn to me now." As the ferry carried them away from the Silver City, the old pack mule's cries of joy resounded over the bitter waters of Moru, the Lake of Tears. As for Hero Hunric, he actually succeeded in reaching Morgul, the land of the cold fire. He ventured into the petrified forest of Wadgave, crossed the three moats of Rhaegar Castle, found the lead axe, and slew the dragon Snare. Then he brought Oglamar back to her father. At that point, she would gladly have married him, but by then he didn't want her anymore. That, however, is another story, and shall be told another time. 18. The Akaris. Rain was coming down in buckets. The black, red
fucked
clouds
up.
hung so low that they seemed almost to graze the heads of the riders. Then big, sticky snowflakes began to fall, and in the end, it was snowing and raining in one. The wind was so strong that even the horses had to brace themselves against it. The riders' cloaks were soaked through and flapped heavily against the backs of the beasts. For the last 3 days, they had been riding over a desolate, high plateau. The weather had been getting steadily worse, and the ground was a mixture of mud and sharp stones that made for hard going. Here and there, the monotony of the landscape was broken by clumps of bushes or of stunted, wind-bound trees. Bastian, who rode in the lead on his mule Yika, was fairly well off with his glittering silver mantle, which, though light and thin, proved to be remarkably warm and shed water like a duck. The low-slung body of Bukian the Strong almost vanished in his thick blue woolen coat. The delicately built Husbald had pulled his great logan hood over his red hair, and Udorn's grey canvas cloak clung to his gaunt frame. Yet in their rather crude way, the 3 knights were of good cheer. They hadn't expected their adventure with Sebastian to be a Sunday stroll. Now and then, with more spirit than art, they sang into the storm, sometimes singly and sometimes in chorus. Their favourite song seemed to be one that began with the words, "When that I was and a little tiny boy, with hey ho the wind and the rain. When that I was and a little tiny boy, with hey ho the wind and the rain." As they explained, this had been sung by a human who had visited Fantastica long years before, named of Shakespeare, or something of the sort. The only one in the group who didn't seem to mind the cold and the rain was Atreyu. On Falcor's back, he rode high above the clouds, flying far ahead to reconnoitre and rejoining the company from time to time to report on what he had seen. They all, even the Luck Dragon, believed they were looking for the road that would take Bastian back to his world. Bastian thought so too. He himself didn't realize that he had agreed to Atreyu's suggestion only to oblige his friend, and that this wasn't what he really wanted. But the geography of Fantastica is determined by wishes, which may or may not be conscious. And since it was Bastian who led the way, they were actually going deeper and deeper into Fantastica, heading for the Ivory Tower at its very center. What the consequences for him would be, he wouldn't learn until much later. For the present, neither he nor his companions had any idea where they were going. Bastian's thoughts were busy with a different problem. On the second day of their journey, in the forest surrounding the Lake of Tears, he had seen unmistakable traces of the dragon's snare. Some of the trees had been turned to stone, no doubt by contact with the monster's ice-cold fire, and the prints of the giant grasshopper feet were clearly discernible. Atreyu, who was skilled in woodcraft, had seen other tracks as well, those of hero Hunrek's horse, which meant that Hunrek was close on the dragon's heels. "That doesn't really thrill me," said Falcor, rolling his ruby red eyes. "Monster or not, this Smerg is a relative of mine. A distant one, sure, but a relative all the same." He was only half in jest. They had not followed Hero Hunrek's track, but had taken a different direction. Their supposed aim was to find Bastian's way home. And now Bastian was asking himself, had it really been such a good idea to invent a dragon for Hero Hunrek? True, Hunrek had needed a chance to show his mettle, but was it certain that he would win? What if Snare killed him? And what about Princess Oglamar? Yes, of course she had been naughty, but was that a reason for getting her into such a fix? On top of all that, how was he to know what further damage Smerg might do in Fantastica? Without stopping to think, Bastian had created an unpredictable menace. It would be there long after he was gone, and quite possibly kill or maim any number of innocents. As he knew, Moonchild drew no distinction between good and evil, beautiful and ugly. To her mind, all the creatures in Fantastica were equally important and worthy of consideration. But had he, Bastian, the right to take the same attitude? And above all, did he wish to? No, Bastian said to himself. He had no wish to go down in the history of Fantastica as a creator of monsters and horrors. How much finer it would be to become famous for his unselfish goodness, to be a shining model for all, to be revered as the good human or the great benefactor. Yes, that was what he wanted. The country became mountainous, and Atreyu, returning from a reconnaissance flight, reported that a few miles ahead he had sighted a glen which seemed to offer shelter from the wind. In fact, if his eyes had not deceived him, there were several caves round about where they could take refuge from the rain and snow. It was already late afternoon, high time to find suitable quarters for the night. So all the others were delighted at Atreyu's news and spurred their mounts on. They were making their way through a valley, possibly a dried-out riverbed, enclosed in mountains which grew higher as the travellers advanced. Some 2 hours later, they reached the glen, and true enough, there were several caves in the surrounding cliffs. They chose the largest and made themselves as comfortable as they could. The 3 knights gathered brushwood and branches that had been blown down by the storm, and soon they had a splendid fire going in the cave. The wet clothes were spread out to dry, the beasts were brought in and unsaddled, and even Falcor, who ordinarily preferred to spend the night in the open, curled up at the cave. All in all, it wasn't such a bad place to be in. While Hudorn the Enduring tried to roast a big chunk of meat over the fire, and the others watched him eagerly, Atreyu turned to Bastian and said, "Tell us some more about Krista." "About what?" Bastian asked. "Your friend Krista, the little girl you told your stories to." "I don't know any little girl by that name," said Bastian. "And what makes you think I told her stories?" Once again, Atreyu had that thoughtful look. "Back in your world," he said slowly, "you used to tell lots of stories, some to her and some to yourself. How do you know that, Atreyu? You said so yourself in Amogan. You also said that people made fun of you for it." Bastian stared into the fire. "That's true," he muttered. "I did say that. But I don't know why. I can't remember." It all seemed very strange. Atreyu exchanged glances with Falcor and nodded gravely, as though something one of them had said had now been proved true. But he said nothing more. Evidently, he didn't wish to discuss such matters in front of the 3 knights. "The meat's done," Hudorn announced. He cut off a chunk for each one, and they all began to eat. Done was a gross exaggeration. The meat was charred on the outside and raw on the inside, but under the circumstances, there was no point in being picky and choosy. For a while, they were all busy chewing. Then Atreyu said to Bastian, "Tell us how you came to Fantastica." "You know all about that," said Bastian. "It was you who brought me to the childlike Empress." "I mean, before that," said Atreyu, "in your world. Where did you live, and how did it all happen?" Then Bastian told how he had stolen the book from Mrs. Coriander, how he had carried it off to the schoolhouse attic and begun to read. When he came to Atreyu's great quest, Atreyu motioned him to stop. He didn't seem interested in what the book said about him. What interested him in the extreme was the how and why of Bastian's visit to Mr. Coriander and of his flight to the attic of the schoolhouse. Bastian racked his brains, but about those things he could remember nothing more. He had forgotten everything connected with the fact that he had once been fat and weak and cowardly. His memory had been broken into bits, and the bits seemed as vague and far away as if they had concerned an entirely different person. Atreyu asked for other memories, and Bastian spoke about the days when his mother was still alive, about his father and his home, about school and the town he lived in, as much as he remembered. The 3 nights had fallen asleep, and Bastian was still talking. It surprised him that Atreyu should take such an interest in the most everyday happenings. Maybe it was because of the way Atreyu listened. These everyday things took on a new interest for Bastian, as though they contained a secret magic that he had never noticed before. At last, he ran out of memories. It was late in the night. The fire had died down. The 3 knights were snoring softly. Atreyu sat there, his inscrutable look, as though deep in thought. Bastian stretched out, wrapped himself in his silver mantle, and had almost fallen asleep when Atreyu said softly, Bastian put his head on his hand and looked sleepily at his friend. What do you mean by that? The gem, said Atreyu, as though talking to himself, doesn't work the same with you. What makes you think that? Amulet gives you great power. It makes all your wishes come true. But at the same time, it takes something away. Your memory of your world. Bastian thought it over. He didn't feel as if anything had been taken away from him. Rogroman told me to find out what I really wanted, and the inscription on Orin says the same thing. But for that, I have to go from one wish to the next without ever skipping any. That's why I need the gem. Yes, said Atreyu. It gives you the meaning, but it takes away the purpose. Oh well, said Bastian, undismayed. Moonchild must have known what she was doing when she gave me the amulet. You worry too much, Atreyu. I'm sure Orin isn't as bad. No, said Atreyu. I don't think so either. And after a while, he added, anyway, you're looking for the way back to your world. We are, aren't we? Oh, yes, said Bastian, already up. In the middle of the night, he was awakened by a strange sound. He had no idea what it was. The fire had gone out, and he was lying in total darkness. Then he felt Atreyu's hand on his shoulder and heard him whisper, what's that? I don't know, Bastian whispered back. They crept to the mouth of the cave and listened. A great many creatures seemed to be trying to fight back their sound. There was nothing human about it, and it didn't sound like animals in pain. Darting as a whisper, it swelled to a sigh, then ebbed and rose, ebbed and rose. Never had Bastian heard anything so mournful. If at least we could see something, Atreyu whispered. Wait, said Bastian. I've got Alza here. He took the glittering stone from his pocket and held it high. It gave hardly more light than a candle, but in its faint glow, the friends saw enough to make their skin crawl with horror. The whole glen was alive with hideous foot-long worms who looked as if they'd been wrapped in soiled rags. Slimy little limbs protruded from the folds in their skin. At one end, 2 lidless eyes peered out from under the rags, and from every eye flowed tears. Thousands of tears. The whole glen was wet with them. The moment the light from Alza here hit them, the creatures froze, and the friends were able to see what they had been doing. At the center of the glen stood a tower of the finest silver filigree, more beautiful and more valuable than any building Bastian had seen in Amogan. Some of the worm-like creatures had evidently been climbing about on the tower, joining its innumerable path. But at present, they all stood motionless, staring at the light of Alza here. A ghoulish whisper passed over the glen. Alas, alas, what light has fallen on our
Yeah, it's been about 54 minutes. I'm going to cut the stream off. If you like what you see, like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. This is El Gargoyle.